and we want to talk about how people can get into homes. There's a lot of programs out there not fit in one program. There might be a different program out there, and I want to give you options. So I got a special guest today. I'm going to let him introduce himself because I don't want to butcher his name, even though he told me a few times. Let's introduce yourself.
All right, so I'm Gus Floropoulos. I'm a senior vice president with the Federal Savings Bank. I'm located here in New York, mostly out of Melville, Long Island, but I also hold hours in our financial district office in Manhattan. We also have branches in Queens and Brooklyn and the Bronx, and we're federally chartered. So I lend in all 50 states. I've been in mortgage lending for 20 years, and I've been in financial services for about 24 years.
All right, so Gus, what is it that you want to talk to us about to help us understand, hey, there are other options out there?
For sure. So in today's market, and you see it more than anyone else, the lack of inventory continues to be the theme of just the hurdles that buyers, whether they're first-time buyers or step-up buyers, or people that are looking to downsize, are having. There's less and less inventory. During the pandemic, it was because there was just so many people trying to buy a home, competing for that same home. Today, there's just less people willing to sell their home that would potentially be selling in this environment for a multitude of reasons. But looking at their scenario, having a low interest rate, let's say 3%, and now coming to the market and being at an interest rate in the sixes. Not that long ago, we were close to 8.5% on a lot of conventional stuff, albeit for a very brief period. It's just turning sellers off, right? So they're saying, well, I'm going to wait until it's a more opportunistic time to sell my property, and there's less and less inventory. So today, what I'd like to discuss is a approach that I think has helped a lot of people on our side, and that is through our construction loan program. It's a very unique product, especially here in New York. There's not too many residential end user construction solutions available. There's a lot of construction programs for the fix and flip guy and, the guy speculating, looking to build a condo building. But for just the average person looking to either build a new home or renovate an existing home and have very favorable terms, there's really not anything available. And not only do we have something available, we have a spectacular program. So that's my motivation today.
So how does one qualify for this kind of loan?
Yeah, so the qualification is very similar to your traditional approach. We're going to look at your ability to repay the loan through your income. We're going to analyze your credit and then your assets, depending on how much money you're going to be looking to work with on the transaction. So it's a very traditional underwriting approach for the construction program.
What's something that people don't know about this program that they should know? That could be a key factor. Hey, I might qualify for this.
Yeah, so what we're seeing is statistics right now are showing that the amount of new home sales that are new construction are close to 32%. So that statistic may not mean much to just an average person, but historically, the new construction segment of new home sales is historically been around 11 to 15%. That's the average going back close to 50 years. So when you look at these metrics and you're like, holy cow, that's more than double, maybe even triple the historical average, one might say, oh, there's just a lot more new homes being built. And that's not the case. It's really the same amount or maybe even less new homes being built. It's just so few existing homes being sold that the metrics on new construction are rising at a very, very rapid pace. I think when people think of new construction, they just don't have the experience or the appetite to go through that process. There's a lot of opportunity there that people don't realize, that you have the opportunity to really have a blank canvas and to own a home that is going to be brand new, yours, nobody ever lived in it. And you're really not going to have to deal with a lot of the deferred maintenance that you would with a home that's, been built in 1960. At the end of the day, there's always deferred maintenance, but when it's a brand new home, you're not going to have to deal with that deferred maintenance for a while. An area that I've seen our construction loan really help people has been in the area of the renovation aspect of our program. So our program can be used to build a brand new home ground up or to renovate an existing home. And so a lot of times we'll have a client who has a budget of, let's say, $500,000, which in New York is not a very big budget, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, or at least downstate New York, the 5 boroughs, Nassau, Suffolk, Westchester, so on and so forth. So they come to us, this is our budget. We're finding these homes at like 450, but they need a lot of work and we can't qualify. So then we'll structure it with the renovation piece built into the loan, right? So it's a one-time close. You're getting your money to buy the home. You're getting your money to rehab the home, and you're getting a great interest rate. And this is a very, very important point that I want to make. This is not the Fannie Mae home style or the Freddie Mac renovation loan. This is our bank's balance sheet program. It's pricing in the sixes.
Okay.
It's an interest only during the construction timeline, and you only pay interest while the renovation process is being done. So whether it's a ground up construction or a renovation loan, you're not paying this astronomical payment. And then once the work is completed, we then convert the loan to the permanent mortgage of your choice. We could lock in that permanent rate at any time. The renovation rate is a fixed rate during the renovation process, so you're not subjected to interest rate fluctuations. But here's the caveat. We will finance up to 95% for anyone, right? So only 5% down, conventional FHA guideline underwriting. And then for our veterans, we do 100%. So you have a veteran who's looking to build a brand new home, we will finance 100% of the land acquisition and 100% of the build out of that home. You have a veteran or a
Gus,
regular
could you
person
repeat
looking
that
to,
one more time? Could you repeat
yeah,
that one more time for the people in the
100%
back who might not
financing
hear
on
that?
our construction program. Yeah. 100% for our veterans. So if you're a veteran and you have your eligibility through the VA, which is something that we could verify very quickly, we're a veteran-owned bank. We do a tremendous amount of work in the VA space, not just our home lending operation, but the chairman of my bank is former military. A lot of the executives are former militaries. We have a 3-star general sitting on the board of directors of my bank. We're very much committed to education within the VA space. We find that especially here in New York, there is a approach where a VA home loan is not a good loan, and so realtors don't want to accept offers from veterans because there's no money down, and there's
Well,
the
it's
appraised.
for the sellers. They're a little nervous that when someone doesn't put skin in the game, but it's
Yeah,
also
I get it.
part of the realtor basically has to understand the program and can explain it to the seller why it might be a better choice for them as opposed to a regular loan or cash buyer.
Yep,
So it's all about the education basically from the realtor
a
to,
hundred
to their
percent.
client. I'm sorry, continue.
100%. It's just a lack of knowledge and an understanding. And I think sometimes just like anything else, if you have a bad experience, if let's say a veteran goes to do a VA loan and they're not working with a VA home loan specialist, that process could not be, successful and be a very, very painful process. And that could be very painful, on any mortgage if you're dealing with just the wrong people. And so I think this just always just goes back to working with the right professionals, whether it be your mortgage professional, your real estate professional, your real estate attorney. I can't tell you how many stories I've had situations where the attorneys just didn't do a good job, right? And I know some really good attorneys that do a spectacular job. And so like sometimes you get these attorneys that are either not fully integrated in real estate. They do a lot of different things, and real estate is not their true niche. And you end up having a bad transaction. But our construction program, I'm going to repeat it one more time.
Yes, please.
95%, listen to me, 95% financing, no mortgage insurance, interest only. Our interest rates today on the construction loan are between 6.625 and 6.875. That's the range. And that is more predicated on whether it's a jumbo loan or a conforming loan balance. And so we kind of have those caveats. Our credit score requirement is as low as 660. So very flexible on credit. And if you're a veteran, 100% financing on the construction. And again, once the construction period ends, then depending on whether you're doing an FHA loan, a conventional loan, you would be subjected at that point for mortgage insurance and stuff like that. But it's all underwritten in advance. So you're not going through this construction loan with us and then all of a sudden you can't get a traditional mortgage at the end or we can't convert the loan at the end or whatever it is. This is all done in advance to protect you, but to also protect us, right? If we're lending 95% of a deal, who has the bigger risk?
The
Us,
lender.
right? So we want to make sure that it's all done correctly.
Gus,
We have a,
what would be the typical
yeah,
time?
go ahead.
I'm
I'm
sorry
sorry.
about that. What would be the typical timeline for a loan like this if a consumer decides to
So
reach out to you?
we've had, yeah, no, this is a great question. We've had construction loans that took less than 3 weeks from contract to close, less than 3 weeks, right? So an important piece of a construction loan for us is that you're dealing with a property that, if it's land and you're buying land, there has to be some type of a plan that is at least preliminary for us to underwrite, and there has to be a builder that we have to be able to approve, right? So a lot of the new construction stuff that we've done has been with developers that we've approved, right? So once a developer gets our program and they're like, oh my God, you could finance 95% of a new home. And not that everybody's looking to do 5% down. We have plenty of clients that are doing a lot more down. But at the end of the day, when you're able to leverage so much, you're opening up the pool to so many people. And I think in our environment, and you see it all the time. We have a lot of clients that are, working hard. They make a really good living. Some of these individuals make, great incomes, but they have a hard time saving money. It's like one of the hardest things to do is to save money. So the construction loan really alleviates that. We have clients that are looking to sell their home and buy a new construction. And so the logistics of selling their home and buying, well, we could satisfy that by financing 95% of the build. And then once your home is ready and you've sold your home, you could then use that equity to pay down the loan, whatever you'd like, upon the conversion, right? So we had a guy who wanted to put down 500,000, but he didn't have it. He needed to sell his home. So we financed 95% of the build. At that time, our rates were in the threes. So it was like a no-brainer for him. And when the home was completed, right before the loan converted from a construction loan to a permanent conventional mortgage, he put down the 400 something thousand and brought his loan balance down to like 400,000. And so strategically, we could find solutions, have the it's all about communication, right? Every client is different. Every household is different. Everyone's goals are different. And so we ask those questions. We get an understanding of what you're looking to accomplish. And then we try to pair it up with the right program. I feel that our construction loan program is just very unique, right? There's no other construction lender, pure construction lender, that is offering the leverage that we offer. Our interest rates are right there with the best construction lenders in New York, but we're offering those rates with higher leverage. And I think that just opens up the door for a lot more people. And just to kind of, I know I'm talking a lot, Evans, and I'm really sorry. I have this tendency where I just don't shut up, but I
Look,
just want to share one more.
I want to make sure that people get as much options as possible, and you're the guy to give it to them. So go ahead, continue. The floor is yours.
Yeah. So we just closed 2 deals that were, I think, a little unique, that were renovation loans, right? We had one was a co-op in Manhattan. Okay, a co-op in Manhattan, $1 million purchase, $400,000 build out. Client put down 10%. So it was a total budget of 1.4 million, and the client put down 140 grand on a co-op, right? The guy was buying it, wanted it Mac Daddy, wanted it to look beautiful, and we were able to get that done. And we closed that deal inside of 30 days on a co-op. Purchase, construction, one shot. Then we did a 3-family in Bed-Stuy where the client is looking to sell his home, but it is in really bad shape. The realtor was having a hard time selling it, saw one of my construction videos, called me, we discussed it. So we're able to also offer that for people that might be looking to sell their home but can't sell it and have tons of equity in their property. We could offer it on a rehab of an existing property that you own. Now, it's very important that I share this because a lot of investors are going to hear this product and they're going to be like, well, I want 6% construction money for residential. We're not really looking to offer this on a wide scale to just straight up investors. We do it for investors. We have a deal in Beechhurst. It was a 1031 exchange. Our total budget's about $2 million. But this was a client that we've done a lot of work with, and we felt very comfortable offering the construction program as a solution for that client. The construction loan program is really designed to promote home ownership. And so if you are a builder, if you are a developer, if you are an investor, we could finance the construction for the end user. That would be the strategy that I would prefer, as opposed to financing the investor on a spec bill. And that's pretty much it.
Well, you gave us a lot to think about, and I want to segue basically. You mentioned about communication. Communication is the key. You're building your team. I've said this a million times. You've got to find out who your realtor is going to be, who your loan officer is going to be, who your attorney is going to be. And the key point, and you mentioned this already, the attorney has to specialize in real estate. If they do other things, that's
Yep.
fine. But basically, you want somebody who specializes in real estate. That you're building a team, and you got to make sure all your team communicates with one another. Speaking of communication, how do they reach you if they're interested in this loan or any other products that you might have?
So if you copy and paste my name, Gus Floropoulos, there's only one of me out there. So anything you search, Gus Floropoulos, it'll lead back to me. Cell phone texting, calling 917-579-0734. And my email is Gus, Gus, Gus at thefederalsavingsbank.com.
I want to thank Gus basically for taking his time out of his busy schedule to talk to us. Like I said, I want to give you guys options so you know that basically not just point A, point B, point C. There's always many options out there. So I'm your real estate agent when it comes to Queens, Brooklyn, the Bronx, here in New York or outside of New York. You need help with that, let me know. I can connect you to the right agent basically outside of New York. My contact information is 917-975-5985. And you can also catch me on my website, My NY Home Sales. That's MYNY homessales.com. If you have any questions about anything real estate, feel free to reach out to us. You have my contact information. You have Gus's contact information. If it's not for you, if it's somebody else, have them reach out to us. We want to help as many people as we can. We can't do that unless you make the first move. So pick up that phone and call us. If you like what you heard, have any other questions, any other scenarios, feel free to leave comments below and let us know if there's anything that we can help you with at the time of this recording or whenever you're seeing this. Let us know what you need help with, and we're here to help.